Yeah, what a season he's having, Jerome Hughes. I think everyone that commentates, supports, and is involved in rugby league just loves the trajectory of the Melbourne Storm halfback, Jerome Hughes. He has been in scintillating form. A season where he's been out with Cameron Munster for long periods, without Ryan Pappenhausen. Tonight he'll be without Harry Grant. And the little number 7 has been one of the form players of the competition. 15 try assists in his last 10 games. He has been exceptional for them, and tonight he is the key, no doubt about it.
When they've been in so many tight games, he's the one that's got him out of a hole. We get to see this man in the fullback role once again. Ryan Pappenhausen, not a major injury, thankfully, but missing this one.
Well, again, he's a crowd puller, this young man, so far along. He is just absolutely electric. And every time he gets an opportunity to run out, I think we all love watching him. Great to see him in the side tonight. Great to know that he'll be playing long minutes at fullback. And they are, well, I mean, what a luxury to bring in so far along when Pappenhausen is out.
So here we go. It's the Melbourne Storm and the Canberra Raiders. They've had so many ding-dong battles over the last few years. And here we go with Joey Tarpany first to hit it up. So the Raiders with 7 wins and 7 losses, still very much in the mix for the finals, but they need to turn their form around in a hurry. And this is Josh Papali'i in game number 296. Their first meeting, these sides, since late last year when Melbourne put the cleaners through the Raiders.
Then you just mentioned possible change. You can see there, Kyo Weeks, although he's a dummy half now, he's playing in the fullback position. Adam Cook is in the half, so the Raiders is the ball.
Well, Smithies puts it down, greasy conditions that perhaps these players weren't expecting. It had been dry for the afternoon, but now Melbourne, what a great chance for them with their first use of the ball.
Yeah, looked like just the left knee there of Big Nelson Asfa-Solomona, just bumping Smithies, and Ricky Stewart braving the wet and cold conditions down on the sideline. And an opportunity now for Melbourne.
So another start for Nelson. His first start of the year was last week in that fabulous game against the Dolphins. So again, in that lock position, not locking the scrum here. Garlic feeding it on for Alonga. Nelson was playing about 30 minutes a game. So interesting how he's used tonight. Garlic the dummy half. Wishart getting it on. Kamikamica just inside the 30. Melbourne's attack has been so dynamic this year. As it comes outside, back in for Nelson Asfa-Solomona. They're getting plenty out of the big fella early. 6 more tackles. That's midway through the count. It just gets a little harder here for the Raiders. Kamikamica fallen on primarily by Papali'i. Asfa-Solomona charging down the middle. Oh, just holding on there, Papali'i. Starling and also Weeks. Back for Wishart. The extravagant dummy. Now, oh, it opens up there, and I think Wishart, yes, he knew Tyrant. That was a problem, and that's a real get-out-of-jail-free card handed to the Canberra Raiders.
Yeah, a bit of possession there for the Melbourne Storm, and the Raiders repelling them early in the game, and it was Wishart, always dangerous. You get the ball out the back of shape and then skim back across the other side of the field and just tuck in behind those lead runners. And Craig Bellamy, you'd be disappointed that they've given up that field position so easily as Timbercorn now for the Raiders.
All rugged up on the sideline and hopefully a bit of rain protection there. Jake Duke.
Good evening, gentlemen. As you mentioned, a wet day here in Melbourne, and the rain has started up again, lightly sprinkling at the moment. Hopefully it holds off for the next couple of hours. The Raiders, they are looking for a massive form reversal here tonight. They've conceded 82 points in back-to-back losses, and that's led Ricky Stewart to usher in a number of changes. Sebastian Christ, a late withdrawal from this side before kickoff, and I did confirm there is no injury for him. Ricky Stewart just wanted to give him the week off, so Adam Cook is into the halves.
Adam Cook, very good in New South Wales Cup this year, and now he runs to the line onto Ethan Strange, working the right side of the field. Strange, of course, having an excellent first full season of first grade. Cook in the 20. And it goes now, Tarpany. Here's Weeks chiming in. He gets it on. Habawani, the pass was loose. Off the legs of Rapana. Now for Alonga. And brought down. Perhaps crucial tackle by Whitehead.
Yeah, just seeing there, Kyle Weeks and the speed, almost getting away there from Jerome Hughes. Did a great job to cover from the inside. And the Melbourne Storm defence sliding and able to solve the problems there. The Raiders throwing at them as we see an offload now. Hughes moving the ball to long to Katoa.
That finds the man on the wing here in Will Warbrick and the extravagance of the Melbourne Storm. Jack Howarth there at dummy half. No Nick Meaney tonight, minor injury. Kamikamitha running into Cook and Tarp. Hughes for Wishart. Out it goes to Blore. Blore's put the offload away in recent weeks. He wanted one there, just couldn't find the support. Last. And a very high kick here from Hughes. And making a meal of it is Kyo Weeks. And it's either a knock-on or offside. We go with the knock-on, and Melbourne again get another chance.
Yeah, a towering bomb from that man, Jerome Hughes, who has become the complete half, really. And his kicking game has been a feature over recent weeks, towering towards the northern end here of Amy Park, and Weeks coming down into the collision in slippery conditions and unable to hang on to it. And again, now Melbourne, in the opening 5 minutes, plenty of possession down here in the Raiders' half.
Even the end over end ones are nightmares when they're put that high into the air.
Yeah.
So the Melbourne Storm here, centre field. Hughes with Wishart jamming into the scrum.
There's Nelson.
The stack side is this side. That's for Solomona. Oh, he made mincemeat of Ethan Strange. Strange had a little help though, primarily from Starling. Melbourne don't throw away too many chances. They've already coughed up one. Now they've coughed up another as Hudson Young comes up with the ball. Well, they're hanging on grimly here, the Raiders. Obawadi jammed in the 10-metre area here as Canberra struggling. Makes some metres. So here we go, the strip here from Hudson Young. Tarpiner and Papali'i in the tackle. And it was close, but referee happy that it was one-on-one by the time Young ripped it out. First steal of the year for Hudson Young. Joey Tarpiner. Melbourne 11-3, Raiders in 10th place. That's well inside the 40 for Cook, but no problem for Warbrick. Powering into the Canberra defence. Melbourne, excellent record here as you'd expect. 6-1, the only time they went down. That great game a few weeks ago against the Cronulla Sharks. It's Coates.
Carry here from Coates.
Backing up from Origin. Strong run from him. Third game this year, the dummy half. Hughes out in front here of Warbrick, who does brilliantly. Look at him go. He's almost there. That's a great save. Now it's back in field. Garlick to Nelson. And threw that out aimlessly. Fallen on by Garlick. Josh King at dummy half. Bouchard this time putting Boot the ball. And out it goes to Savage. Great catch by Xavier Savage. Then he gets away from Howarth and Fa'alongo. Nice work. Good start for the young man.
Yeah, very good catch there. Xavier Savage, and needed to be made. Tough conditions, very slippery, and up above the pack did well. Not only that, he came down and then pitched another 10 metres as we see Cook find Hopewadi.
Great to see Albert Hopewadi back after that nasty accident he had this year. And first game in the top grade since round 9. Smithies.
Good on that right-hand side, Melbourne, when they've gone there. Hughes and Warbrick already making some inroads. A bit of blood streaming down the face there of Tom Starling.
Get through their set. And a torpedo here from Adam Cook. And Fa'alongo a little nervy. No panic, though. Now Hughes went down strangely, and it's a penalty against Canberra.
He's just standing his ground. You unnecessarily
Morgan Smithies it was. Just shoving Jerome Hughes in the back. See at the top of your screen there.
Jeez. It's been terrific this year, Morgan Smithies, the Englishman. Not a great start of the night for him, though.
Well, the one thing that a coach says to you when you come to a graveyard like Amy Park is you just simply cannot beat yourself, and your discipline needs to be perfect. And that's just ill discipline there from Morgan Smith. He's completely unnecessary on Jerome Hughes. Had Farlongo in a really difficult spot to start his set. And now all of a sudden, through the tower, they're up over the 40-metre line on play one.
Hope you're enjoying your Super Saturday here on Fox League. A couple of very intriguing games so far. And a triple header tomorrow.
He's had some touches, Nelson, hasn't he?
And he's going to be brought down 7th time he's run into the defence. Garlic feeding it on. King straight and hard. Looking for the roll on here. So again, yeah, Melbourne inside Canberra territory. They just keep making undisciplined and unnecessary mistakes, the Raiders. Another set restart. Real determination to lay on in the ruck here. Kamikamitha almost to the 20. Atkins getting a workout early. Asma Solomona is wearing the Raiders down. They handled him well here. Wishart goes for the front man. Ball well handled. Timokor strong. Garlic back in field. Asma Solomona keeps it going. King gets it on. Jerome Hughes, fired it into the boot there. And Farlongo, Canberra come away. And for all of Canberra's errors and bits of ill discipline, Melbourne yet to make them pay.
They're their own worst enemy at the moment, the Melbourne Storm. They've had some great field position. You can see here Jerome Hughes just juggling, and then from the inside, Hudson Young, who's come up with some big plays down this end of the field already. There's a good stop there from the Canberra back rower as Savage now in a wrestle. And it's Wishart and it's Anderson that win that battle.
So like Canberra, they've shown they can be blown out this year, but boy, when it's close, they find ways to win. It's comfortably handled. Bloor in there with Kamikamitha and King. Comes to Cook. He really has intent on kicking the belly of this football. That's another tester. Great catch, Farlongo. And now he's away. Soli'i Farlongo. Now he breaks past Cook. This is extraordinary. This is outrageous. And finally comes to ground. He did well just to hang on to the thing, and he's gone 50 metres up.
How good is he, Dan? Just twinkle toes. He's just bouncing and dancing around this Raiders defensive line. The catch was spectacular. The movement and speed, brilliant. What work from Farlongo.
Asma Solomona has the defence retreating. And Melbourne again on the attack. Garlic for Wishart. Plenty of defence on Melbourne's left, so back it comes. And it's Josh King. Arrow straight. 2 plays left. Garlic to Hughes. Hughes to the front man, Katoa. Terrific tackle by Cook. Final play. You get the sense it's a big moment here. Hughes. Certainly be a contest. Hughes went down hard after that kick. Batted back. Whitehead coming through. Howarth getting a touch. And now, what's he got here? Grant Anderson with the kick. And the chase coming through. Anderson's claiming it. Anderson is claiming a try. And this will go upstairs.
Okay, coming in attack is 6, mate.
Well, Grant Anderson...
Review grading, please.
Look nowhere near it, but he has got up and he is confident.
Always beware of the second kick, and it goes across field. And all of a sudden, as the ball comes back, it's Anderson that kicks into the in goal.
Right hand of Grant Anderson makes contact with the ball and goes forward.
He just didn't ground.
You have a decision.
So it ends up being a fantastic result for Canberra.
Yeah, great desperation getting back there. Ko Weeks did just enough to keep Anderson from getting a clean shot at the footy.
20. Front foot on the line.
Well, what about the work from Farlongo? Look at this, he just sits into the fingertips. How quickly he gets to his feet, shrugs off Papali'i, and then watch the smile on his face here. You ready? He beats Rapana and starts laughing. It's brilliant. He is an entertainer.
Wait for the tap.
And then this...
Wait for the tap.
I reckon Grant Anderson actually thinks he got that down. I don't
I like that from Farlongo.
Oh, isn't it beautiful? Yeah. How can you not love him? Savage. Right, Pappenhausen. Rain's not good for the hair, and it's just flat and shaggy. It's a chilly night here as Cook turning it in. So still no score for all of Melbourne's dominance. Nothing to show for it. Kapali'i run that. Cantor and Kamikamitha combining. Now it's Smith on to Cook. Shoveling it onto Ethan Strange, threatening and getting under and almost getting through. Oh, Big Nelson with the crucial ankle tap. Last here for the Raiders. So it'll come to Cook. Puts up one that's coming down right on the line. Back it comes, pinballing away for Howard. This time it's Melbourne that hold on.
Yeah, strange one that, because it was a desperate attempt at tackle. In fact, it was just an ankle tap and needed to be made from Asifa Solomona on Ethan Strange. And then they had Farlongo trapped at marker. And the one area you don't kick to against the Melbourne Storm are their two wingers. They've got two of the biggest in the game in Warbrick and Coates. And they opted for the long kick instead of keeping it along the ground in these conditions when Farlongo was out of position.
Garlic. Here's the offload. Wishart. Garlic was in a position there that just made it a touch awkward for Wishart, who penalised for being part of an obstruction. So that one got a little corkscrew on it, but no problem for tonight's fullback Kyo Weeks. Only at the 15-minute mark here. Raiders have some big wins this year. They beat Manly at Brookvale, Newcastle at Newcastle, the high-flying Dolphins at Redcliffe. Down here, Adam Cook, most try assists in all of New South Wales Cup this year, 17. One game he had 5.
Dan, just looking at the conditions, I mean, you look at the Melbourne Storm, and you mentioned it off the top, just their ability to score points this year. These conditions playing right into the Raiders' hands, who love the physical battle through the middle. It just doesn't look like the sort of night where Melbourne are going to be able to move the footy and find the holes in this opposition like they have with some others.
Raiders have won their last couple in the rain. That last one being against the Dolphins. Here we go. Willavi, Farlongo. And this time he cops a heavy bump. Xavier Coates backing up from State of Origin. Changes about to take effect here.
Just watching the injection of Liero when he comes into this game for Hughes down the short side.
Hughes scheming and almost getting... Geez, Cook's made some crucial tackles, and that one had to be made, albeit giving away 6 more. Kamitha. How many tackles inside Canberra territory? Now it's King. Strange had rushed up on King's outside, but King had no intention but to run it straight. So we've got a problem here. Oh my goodness, that really has opened up. Much sympathy coming there from Grant Atkins. Haven't we seen some cuts in the game in recent times? And that's going to need some proper bandaging, that. Tom Starling.
Get sloppy down here, okay?
Yeah, let's hope that this doesn't need for him to leave the field. This was where he just dives and just cops a boot there.
Ooh,
yeah. Jerome Hughes. And he's waited so long, Tom Starling, to get an opportunity to come back into the starting side. It's his 100th game tonight, and oh, gee, that's nasty. Sugar. Yeah.
And you wonder also if he's going to have to spend 15 in the concussion protocol.
Oh, gee, look at that.
That's going to need some serious work, that. Let's hope this does the job for his sake. All right, 16 and a half minutes gone here. Probably not the worst thing for Canberra to have a break.
No.
Given they've done so much defending.
Well, just given how important Papali'i and Tarpany are. Like, when they're on the field, they're a different side, Canberra. And this is a great opportunity, this stoppage, for their big men who, around this time, are starting to look towards getting interchanged. And this just gives them another chance to catch their breath and play some longer minutes in this opening half.
Well, he's staying in the game, and much to the crowd's chagrin. Plenty of tackles here for Melbourne. He can meet that. Comfortably handled with his 7th run. Garland played 22 games last year in the top grade. His 3rd this year as Asfa Solomona. He's not here for a long time, but he's certainly going to make it count. Garland. Final play. Slow play the ball. Hughes. Oh, rushing up as Hopewadi that gives Melbourne an overlap. And Howarth leaves it behind him. They've survived again, the Raiders. What a save. And Warbrick getting into it here. And the Raiders here, Hudson Young in the thick of it as well. Melbourne maybe just starting to show some frustration.
Yeah, it was great work. What about the pass selection from Jerome Hughes here over the top of Hopewadi to Howarth, and the patience of Jordan Rapana, not overcommitting, trusting Cook's leg speed to come from the inside. And there is a fierce rivalry between these two sides, and the emotion starting to spill over in this opening half.
And yet again, terrific defence from a halves player in Cook. Roaring back now. Really tumbling down. Just before the game, it was felt like about 30 seconds. This might just have a bit more to it. And Ricky, he's made his decision for the night. He's going to be staying on the sideline. Papali'i, very late offload, but certainly entitled to throw that as Tarpany gets them an extra few metres. Starling with a run out of dummy half. Strange. Can't quite shake off Katoa. Gee, strong. Not strong enough there to fashion a pass. This one, the more conventional kick, but no kick is easy in these conditions. Terrific catch from Warbrick.
Great take from Warbrick. Rain screaming down here, and the kick made him have to come forward into the collision there. Did a great job. He's in tremendous form, Will Warbrick.
A man here who's done such a wonderful job in place of Cam Munster over the last couple of months. Tyron Wishart, you know he's going to run when he gets the chance. Nelson, well, you can't say he didn't put in 10 runs in his first stint, couple of offloads, and a crucial ankle tap as part of his 10 tackles. Hughes at the end of the set. Melbourne this time not making it to halfway. Oh, he never looked comfortable, did he? He never looked comfortable, but he came up with it, Weeks. Raiders do start on the back foot, but they've got it back.
Good run here from Savage. Terrific run out of dummy half from the Raiders winger.
Really rolled his sleeves up. It gives Canberra a little bit of a roll on. With Rapana trying to shake off Liero, who's just come in. King as well. Melbourne, they had experience in the rain a couple of weeks ago against the Warriors when they overcame a big deficit to win in the end fairly handily. Well, here's Cook running.
Raiders
comfortable too.
Yeah, Melbourne players starting to fall off some tackles here.
Adam Cook full of confidence. He's Starling with a kick, and well, it stays in the field of play on the bounce. And it is Melbourne ball.
Their outside backs proving a handful, just shrugging off some of the Melbourne one-on-one defenders as that ball lands just centimetres inside the touchline from Starling. Bit of fatigue coming into the game, Dan.
Well, there haven't been many stoppages, have there? There was, of course, the Tom Starling incident there, and there was a try inspection when Grant Anderson thought he got it over, but apart from that, it's pretty quickly. This is Howarth, and his debut in first grade as a second rower. Well, they got big raps on him. They signed him to a 5-year deal in 2022. They've worked him in slowly. Katoa following up. Now it comes across here with Liero on the Wishart. Longo. Anderson threatening. was an important tackle there. And the veteran Whitehead. Here we go. Coates got a hand to it, it seemed. Hughes coming through, claiming it was put down by Starling. And it's going to be play on.
Yeah, Xavier Savage doing just enough to block the path of Xavier Coates that was trying to come through and get above that contest, as we see big dramas here for the Raiders. One of their strike weapons, Timokor.
Now, Timokor had issues last week with the shoulder. See what comes out of that. Papali'i trying to centre the ball here.
Yeah, he's in some genuine pain and concern for Matt Timokor. Here it is where he gets beat back on the inside and just caught reaching in the wet conditions, and you can see him instantly clutching at that shoulder.
Cook doesn't get this one flush. Sits up pretty nicely for Coates. Great field position from Melbourne. Continue to wait for our first points here. Vieira. Starting 13 for most of the year, but now the last few weeks has been used on the bench. Hughes, Farlongo, looking at backing back to defenders. Cook again on the back of the jumper. Tackles left, Christian Welsh in the game. In defence retreating, and Welsh not considering an offload. Try line just in front of him. Final play. Hughes, here we go. Towards Xavier, but doesn't get to him. Now a contest.
Catch it there and pull it down that way.
And it's a Melbourne knock
Hand
on.
over out here. Wait there.
So, another test survived.
Yeah, really trying to isolate Xavier Savage with this kicking game, but as you can see there, it's just not quite exactly where Hughes wants to land the footy at the moment. And Savage doing a good job in the contest with Xavier Coates. Rapana now skimming through the middle.
See some of these Canberra players, the fatigue is starting to show. Get back into their work here. Very tough. Had some huge games in the past against the Storm. In big games as well. All Smithies. Holds on. What's happening here?
I think he might have just copped a stray forearm here from Eli Katoa as he swung around.
Hey, that blood was
he's
coming
bleeding.
before that. That blood was coming before that.
Grant Atkins has made his decision, but the bunker will have a chance to have a look here, see if anything.
He was into Starling about leaning forward when the blood was dripping from his head. Now he's already seen this cut from Morgan Smithies.
I'm not sure you want Grant Atkins to be your doctor. It's
No.
not the greatest bedside manner.
No. Mariota onto the field now for Canberra.
He's having a good year, Ata Mariota. Oh, again, Cook, that's the second one in a row. He hasn't quite got out of the middle. Along. Field position certainly not the issue for Melbourne. No Munster, no Grant, no Pappenhausen. King. Back in here for Welsh. Running straight into Young.
Yeah, the bench of Melbourne certainly making an impact. That's Welsh's second or third carry, and Liero also out there now making a difference.
Ooh, little switch. Hughes hangs on and almost creates something out of nothing. Held on to by Smithies. Last tackle, not much room to work with here. And the kick in the end pinballs over the sideline.
I think he's avoiding the ball. I'm going to play the ball to Canberra. Go to your captain.
Yeah, this one they can challenge because play is dead.
Okay, Ash, we've got a captain's challenge. Our live decision is into touch, not played at, Rapana.
I don't think there's any question it's pinballed off the Raiders here. Well, I think that's Grant Atkins' assessment, just not played at.
Tom Starling
Well,
plays at the ball.
So that's a
Playing
good
on the
challenge.
stage. The ball then goes into touch.
He doesn't
The
look like a
challenge is
fibber,
successful.
Tyron Wishart. He was very confident. Went straight to the referee, who needed some reassurance from his captain. And the Raiders, well, bravely just keep holding on.
Put it on the play the ball. Play the ball. Well, no, you've got to have 10, 20 over here in the middle. 20's
There's
over
some
here.
cavalry in that box, isn't there? Mooney's been in great form. Such a shame to hear what happened to Pezzett, but Grant and Munster, boy, some salary cap in that box.
Boy, that's a fair cut on the bonds of Harry Grant. A new set begins here for Melbourne. Seems to have been camped at this MCGN. Now it's Hughes. Out it goes Farlongo. Surely. Oh, no! Warbrick pummeled into touch. Albert Hopewadi. Massive try saver.
What a tackle here from Albert Hopewadi.
Give me a second to get to it. Bash. I got no try tackle 2. Can we review any high contact on Sewer on the way through?
All right, so
Sewer.
there's some real feeling starting to eventuate in this corner of the field.
Joe, take him off.
Farlongo did a tremendous job to get on the outside of Hopewadi. Good skill to catch and pass. They're looking at the contact there from Rapana. Look at the work here from Albert Hopewadi.
By Jordan Rapana on.
We'll obviously need another angle on the high tackle. Look at it say from the first angle. Didn't look that bad, did it? What's your verdict, Michael?
Look, it's a reaching motion. He pulls down.
Jordan Rapana's committed to the tackle, just making sure there's no contact.
I think their first point of contact, if you have a look at the arm, it's the hand on the shoulder, and then it slips up around the neck region.
Jordan Rapana makes contact with the neck. This is a penalty, playing on at this stage.
Okay.
And then it's just a penalty, but I'm happy with that. I think it's the right call. The work from Hopewadi, spectacular. The effort from Albert Hopewadi, absolutely fantastic, because Warbrick one-on-one has proven an extremely difficult task to stop that close to the line.
So penalty. Melbourne again will go. At some point they look at 2 here. This is a wide angle, and they're going to continue here with the attack. Liero, a week in Queensland camp, the 20-man squad. Yeah, there's a 6 again. They've considered a few, the Raiders, that's the 5th one. Back inside for Bloor. Bloor getting close.
Referee giving a warning on the run too, Dan.
Hughes. Farlongo. What can he do on this slippery surface? This time well handled. Mariota. Tarpany. Garlic. Oh, it almost opened up for him. A couple of metres away. Melbourne Storm looking for their first try. Now a little drive out of dummy half. That's 4 gone now. He can't talk. Looks Liero, not the cleanest pass. Has to retreat.
It's been a poor set from Melbourne.
Hughes. Wishart under pressure. Wishart got away from Whitehead. Holding on Farlongo. They're going backwards. Now Anderson. Here's Bloor. Out it goes to Coates. Oh, slipping there was Starling, but the cavalry came. Last play. Wishart with the kick. Back it comes. Now it's play on for Young. Now he gets it on. Adam Cook can't break away. But they've done it again, the Raiders. This team conceded 48 last week.
Absolutely outstanding. The Canberra Raiders have had a mountain of defence to do on their own goal line, and it has just been sheer desperation from the opening whistle. And again, they repel them as they come to Timokor now, who they seem to have shrugged off that shoulder injury.
That was a few minutes ago now, so seems to have recovered. The Raiders. Tarpany.
Gee, they've been impressive defensively, Canberra.
They've had 1 tackle inside Melbourne's 20. This might be number 2 coming up. Cook gets it on. Oh, Young, he was trying to haul it in and step at the same time. And that's the end of that. And now, penalty here. So Canberra offside.
Yeah, very loud there. Grant Atkins calling Albert in terms of Albert Hopewadi offside as Joey Tarpany, who has gone through a mountain of work.
23 tackles.
Oh, he hasn't found touch. Oh, just trickling.
In the end, it's a great result.
No more.
So Melbourne again. With Howard put down. That's the 24th tackle inside Canberra's 20. They're one of the deadliest attacking teams in the premiership. The arrow straight into Mooney. Comes back here to Hughes. They seem to fancy their chances, Melbourne, on their right side. As Katoa is claimed. Now King. 4 gone. Garlic off the slow play the ball. Hughes on the angle. Wishart jammed in the tackle. Timokor will be the last to peel off. Garlic. Oh, he put Bloor in no man's land. Bloor did well. Wishart fashions a kick. And this time, not only have Canberra survived, they'll get an extra tackle and the 20-metre tackle.
Well, they're getting worse, Melbourne, with their attack. It has been...
Now, hang on. We might have a line dropout here. Now the decision has come the other way. Grant Atkins thought that might have brushed the knee of Savage before it bounced. Touch and go. Oh, Savage puts it down. Oh, this is masochistic stuff from Canberra. Melbourne again on the attack. We've crossed the 30-minute mark and we still don't have points. Welch. Straight into Starling. Oh,
Right hand, right under the ribcage.
Indeed. Bit of help from Mooney. King for Hughes. Hughes with the dummy. Young does enough. Get some help in the end from Smithies and Cook. Back for Wishart. And it goes in.
It's looked clunky, hasn't it? Their attack so far, Melbourne.
Back for Wishart. Oh, Garlic, and that's a poor put down here in these slippery conditions from Liero. And you can see every set they survive, they seem to become more emboldened, the Raiders.
Yeah, the Raiders growing in confidence. The more and more they hold out this Melbourne Storm side, who have been averaging 27 points a week. Their attack has been up there with the best in the competition this season, and at the moment,
You understand what's happening next?
as we hear, there's Grant Atkins, the
Over this side, Adam.
warning. There's the possession.
Has he got a point? He seems to be indicating they're laying on in the play the balls. They're milking things for as far as they can get away with.
Yeah, they certainly are, and he's had enough of it.
Well, can they hold on there? Completion rate 10 from 14. Just a couple of sets though. It's got away from them either end of the field.
We thought it might have been a Ricky Stewart ambush coming down here, where he's had great success in recent times. It certainly hasn't been with the footy. They've hardly had the ball, but defensive, what an improved performance, and now a penalty.
And Canberra here will get their first chance at sustained attack.
Well, if they could score here, Dan, talk about a momentum swing. They've been under assault defensively. And as Cook drives this one towards the eastern sideline.
Said the Raiders stop Mick. That's obviously a knock. He's back. Yes. May just be set in. What have the Raiders got here? What energy can they muster? That's an incredible stat when you couple that with the overall score.
They're finally back inside Melbourne's 20.
Second tackle. Strange on the right. Cook on the left. Now getting it on to Weeks. Oh, he's lost it. He's lost it. He's put the ball down. Such an innocuous error. These slippery conditions really taking their toll.
Yeah, that's a shame for Kyo Weeks. Did a good job to straighten off that left foot. And then as he came to the ground, you can see here the ball just slips out of his grip. It's so tricky, these conditions, so slippery down at ground level. And the Raiders, after all that hard work defensively and on the back of a penalty, get themselves finally inside Melbourne's red zone.
Let's go, quick 5 seconds.
And an error early in the tackle count.
Hey, what about tomorrow? Sunday ticket, 3 games here on Fox League. Dolphins, Dragons at Cogra. That should be a beauty. No Lomax and no Tabuai Fido. Both sides.
Give a shout out to my old coach. 200 games it is tomorrow for Shane Flanagan. So congratulations to him, and an opportunity for the Dragons to keep improving under the coaching of Shane.
You got Penrith and Cowboys at 4 p.m. Now the Origin players, bar Isaiah Yo, not involved. That makes it rather interesting, actually. And then Roosters Tigers. I know you'll be up there at Allianz for that one. 6:15, a Sunday night game. The Roosters and the Wests Tigers, all on Fox League, and all games, of course, live and ad break free. So Melbourne here, a rare set where they didn't get to really put on some attack. But now they can attack with their defence. There's Weeks.
Great kick and chase there, and strong contact there from Jerome Hughes.
Rapiner pinned on the 10. How important are these next 5 minutes, Mick?
Well, if they go in at 0-all here, Canberra, they'll feel like they're 10 or 12 points up with the amount of defensive work they've had to do, and on the back of their defensive displays the last couple of weeks, where they've conceded 48 against the Tigers, 34 against the Cowboys, and so a chance to go in against the Melbourne Storm side, who...
The confidence this young man has with difficult kicks, what seem to be tough pickups.
He's been brilliant, hasn't he, in the first half?
Long one. Now, coach. We have not had a scoreless half in any rugby league game in the NRL for 3 years. It was back in one of the COVID bubbles, Parramatta and Canberra on the Gold Coast in 2021. We're still 4 minutes away here. There's Welsh for Hughes. Short pass, very nicely read. Hughes putting it up. And Savage drops it straight into the breadbasket of Anderson. Almost minding his own business there, the Melbourne centre. Another chance for the Storm. Mooney, the man, who peels off last. Nero turning it in. Katoa looking for the quick play the ball. Smithy's holding on. Garlic. And oh my goodness! It just opened up for Josh King. And Josh King has tries in back-to-back games. Well, can you believe that? All the attack Melbourne has mustered, and that's how the first try is scored.
Yeah, well, that's just fatigue. Elliott Whitehead has been terrific defensively, and this time, just overreading the play, comes off his try line. Here's the error for an Xavier Savage. Both Weeks and Savage have come up with a couple of errors in the wet here in this opening 40 minutes. And then it's Garlic out of dummy half. Well, Whitehead makes the decision for him. He just takes himself out of the play coming in on Christian Welch. And Bronson Garlic can't believe he's lucky, just fires the pass straight across and all of a sudden sits in the right mid of Josh King, who goes over untouched. And the Melbourne Storm, well, it's been coming. It's been a brave defensive display from Canberra.
You talk about, sorry to cut you off, Bronson Garlic not believing his luck. Josh King on the Harvey Norman replay. He can't believe it. He's stunned.
Yeah, he has been a revelation, hasn't he, for the Melbourne Storm? Just tireless in his work. So durable. Gets through a stack of work for Craig Bellamy. And tonight, 8 runs for 67 metres, 16 tackles already in the opening half, and gets the first try for the Melbourne Storm. So they had to come away with something, Dan.
Sooner or later. Wishart first kick at goal in the NRL. No Nick Meaney tonight. And And that one does the job. 6 points to 0. Finally, we have points. Jake Duke, down to you on the sideline.
The Storm finally capitalised on 63% of the possession in this first half, and it's a great brawl from Bronson Garlick. He's filling in for Harry Grant, who played 41 minutes in that brutal Origin counter for Queensland on Wednesday night. Garlick, just his 9th start at hooker in his career, throws a great ball there, cuts out a couple of players and finds Josh King, the Melbourne Storm, unlikely first try scorer there. 6-0 heading into half-time. It's been a really grinding affair. The rain easing up and hopefully a few more points in the second half.
I don't think anyone will be surprised, Jake, to know that is the first time King has gone back-to-back with tries after getting out last Thursday in Brisbane. So, a minute 30 left. I mean, I'm sure Ricky Stewart will still feel he can sell this pretty well. There's a good tackle. All the defending, and they're only down by 6. Oh, jeez. He went down, and he went down hard, did Sean Bloor.
I don't think there's anything wrong with the tackle. I think he just lands awkward with his leg stuck under.
Yeah, needs a bit of luck, Sean Bloor. He's got immense talent and missed a fair chunk at the pre-season, and he's finally got himself to a point where he's been able to get a number of back-to-back games together on the edge for Melbourne and just buckle there. Oh, yeah, the right leg underneath.
That's right, yeah.
Just watch the right leg here as Mariotta comes in over the top. Oh, just digs in underneath, stuck in the ground.
This is a player that has done an ACL a couple of times, but let's just hope he can shake this one off. First year here at Melbourne, of course, really has started to happen for him. Former Tiger, and been a regular since round number 3. This would have to be a good sign that he can play. Well, we'll go back to the Clive Churchill studio at half-time. Comes here from Hughes. Another one here would be devastating. The hard work Canberra have put in here if they were to concede 2 quick-fire tries on the stroke of half-time. Only 1 tackle left here. Melbourne looking for their 12th win of the season. One put up by Hughes. This has been a problem for Canberra. It's a problem again. Weeks puts it down. Melbourne, they'll pack this quickly, and they'll get a couple of very good cracks at this.
I believe it touched you. I've got to rule in you first. You got no one in there.
It is a Melbourne feed.
He's looked out of sorts, hasn't he? Has looked anything but comfortable under the high ball. Kyo Weeks. He's had some wonderful moments for Canberra in the halves with Easton Strange since coming in with no Jamal Fogarty. And tonight in these tricky conditions, he has struggled underneath the high bombs from Jerome Hughes.
He's not ready to make his halftime speech yet. He wants to see this unfold. Craig Bellamy. 2 on the left, 4 on the right for Melbourne. Oh, wild one. That's going to cost them a play. And Jerome Hughes not happy, but still. Oh, a knock on! A knock on. What a meek way for Melbourne to end the half. But they will go in ahead. They finally got their try, but it is very much game on here at Amy Park. The Canberra Raiders, they look like the team that's in front, strangely. Their body language is terrific. They believe. But it's the Melbourne Storm, thanks to Josh King's try towards the end of the first half, having Melbourne up 6 points to 0.
This man has been absolutely scintillating as we expect. Can you believe the 21-year-old in just his 6th game at fullback? Some of the moments that he displayed in these tough, slippery conditions, absolutely brilliant, with a big smile on his face, the tongue out at times. That big smile, and Elliott Whitehead on report as he comes onto the field.
Here's a new one. So we'll get some more information on that, but on report before the half even begins. So that tackle on Bloor, which thankfully didn't cause too much damage, deemed a hip drop. So that is why Elliott Whitehead is on report. So we might have some real problems there, Elliott. But we're off and running for this second half in greasy conditions. Ellie Katoa. Powerful run. Marvelled at Canberra's defence and their resilience, but this is a relentless team in the Melbourne Storm. They are averaging about 28 points a game, albeit in drier conditions than these. Yeah, another game from the bench.
Yeah, he made a difference since coming on. His ability to carry the footy and also his ability to ball play through the middle just takes the pressure off this man.
Longo looking for work early in the second half. Wishart trying to plug a kick. Kaya Weeks just breaks them open and he's away. He comes to the fullback Longo. Weeks just eases around him. Absolutely sensational. And just like that, the Raiders score. Kaya Weeks has had a nightmare of a night, but in one moment, he scoops it up, goes the length of the field, and changes this game completely.
What a run from Kyo Weeks, moved into the fullback position tonight, and it was just a delicate kick rather than going to the air, which troubled him in the opening half. It was Wishart down the short side, set up beautifully, and the change of pace in between Wishart and Hughes, and the acceleration, look at this, around Longo, who himself has got some wheels. He just blew him straight to the outside. Look at him, he's in second gear. Like an American sprinter down the far touchline. Kyo Weeks, what pace.
That's extraordinary what he just did there. Longo.
With ease.
Longo was at full throttle and no match.
Well, he just accelerated through the contact, and he just steadies. Well, he just hit the afterburners, and Longo couldn't go with him. And then he just drops it back from fifth to third. And just parks at the speed of the young man. What a moment.
This is why Ricky loves having him in the team, because he just did what so few could. Kyo Weeks, another try for him. Last 7 games, 5 tries, 4 try assists. Rapana puts it through. An incredible start to the second half. It's 6 points all. Jake Duke, down to you.
An amazing start for the Canberra Raiders that will please their coach, Ricky Stewart. His message at halftime, extremely happy with his side's defensive effort, especially after last week's heavy loss and poor defensive display. Just wants better ball control when they get their opportunities. But Kyo Weeks, he does it all himself from their own end to even the scores here. Storm coach Craig Bellamy, he will not be happy with that. He wants his side to be more direct with the ball in this second half. Believes they were shifting sideways too much, and that is obviously not conducive to the conditions, but he also wanted a better defensive effort as well, and that was not a good start.
Just the 7th try Canberra have scored this year from beyond halfway.
They will be stunned when they look at the scoreboard and see 6-all with the amount of defensive pressure that they had to get through in the opening half, and some of their own doing with some errors. All of a sudden now, to start the second half, just a couple of minutes in, and a brilliant try from Weeks, it's level. The Raiders must feel like they're in front here.
And now it's Strange. Turning it in for White. Oh, he's put it down. And it's called a knock-on. Eyeballing the referee, trying to change his mind. Grant Atkins comfortable that was all Elliott Whitehead.
Well, again, they're doing it to themselves, and Whitehead, well, just brushes the leg of Trent Liero as he comes around to get to marker. Whitehead cannot believe it. It was a great run from the Englishman. And again, they invite Melbourne inside their own half.
There we go.
Without really having to earn it.
Let's get in the scrum. Quick. Head down, clock off.
So Canberra still have only had 3 tackles in Melbourne's 20. And it's 6-all. Oh! He couldn't hang on. He could not hang on, Jack Howarth. He almost came up with a miracle recovery. And that's the sort of error the Raiders have been making all night.
Well, it's got this feeling, Dan. It has got the feeling
Michael,
of a huge upset.
There was something about the way they congregated at the end of the first half.
Yeah, you're right.
They had the body length.
The energy. Just looking at the sheds at half time.
You're on report. High contact on Jack Howarth after he drops it.
Okay. Oh, hang on. This is going to be a penalty.
Penalty here.
Hopewadi. Let's have a look at this.
Well, he's losing the ball, and then Hopewadi. Right shoulder, just getting him high, Howarth. And gee, you feel for the Raiders. He never had control of that ball, did he?
Okay. So Melbourne, what a gift that is. He was never going to hold them, Jack Howarth. And then, oh, hello. Stormman or the fan there just almost catapulted over the fence trying to haul that ball in. Looks like he's okay. All right, Liero. Oh, Melbourne here. Terrific chance to retake the lead. Canberra's been frustrating Melbourne at the ruck. As Welsh to the 10. Looking for the quick play the ball. Getting the quick play the ball, a rarity tonight. As it comes into Kantoa. Driving his way towards the line. The attacking weapons are on the left, and that's where it goes. Is Hughes to Liero, handled comfortably. Garlic barking instructions. The dummy half, Bronson Garlic. Wishart, Farlongo. You know we want to have a go. Contain though, particularly Mooney. Final play. Jesus, this set's gone quickly. Now a simple charge over Garlic again. Channeling Harry Grant as he puts Sean Bloor over.
Yeah, great work from Garlic. Out of dummy. Out the fingers up. Yeah, look at this. Craig Bellamy. Relief. Well, that's relief from Craig Bellamy that they're actually in front. Whitehead slow to get out of the tackle. And he just does enough with his deception and footwork there. Bronson Garlic just to move Mooney at marker. And isolates Ethan Strange close to the line. Great return from Sean Bloor there, charging into the space after what looked to be an injury in the opening half. And he just powers his way over from close range. And the Raiders, well, what heartbreak. A scintillating try to start the second half from Kyo Weeks. They then come up with an error at the play the ball, only for Melbourne to lose the ball. And they find high contact with Albert Hopewadi in that process. And the Melbourne Storm, well, they go down the other end. Try confirmed, and Sean Bloor gets them back in front.
One try all first half. We've had two in the first 7 and a bit minutes here to open this second half. Wishart, and the first to kick, to be fair to the young man, looked a bit iffy. He's won a little wide around. See if he can get the job done here. Put the Storm back to a converted try margin. Wishart. And that's a lovely looking kick. 2 from 2 for him. Melbourne 12, Canberra 6.
Yeah, just watch the work here of Garlic. A little slow to react on the quickish play the ball from far longer, but cheap points always when you can isolate a small man and a big man charging close to the line. And Sean Bloor, it's been great to see him head down to Victoria under the coaching of Craig Bellamy and really reach the potential that we all knew that he had in his time at the Tigers. And shaking off some injuries, which is great news for the young man also.
I'll tell you what, Mikos, having a look at the draw, we've still got, what, 10 and a bit rounds to go. We're going to have a fabulous sprint to the finals. There's so many teams still in the hunt. Canberra's certainly one of those. And a lot of those teams are playing each other. NRL.com/tickets. There's some bumper games on the way. So we're about to have a man on debut, it seems. Yes, this man could become a cult figure in record time. Jordan Martin, a firebrand who we've seen in the trials. Welsh. Ball's come out. How did it come out? It's play on. It was ripped out.
Canberra one-on-one.
Okay, so it was a one-on-one strip.
Forward by the Raiders.
The initial work was excellent there, but it did look as one of the Melbourne Storm players said, it did look like there were two in the tackle, but no, comfortable that it wasn't contact at the exact moment from Smithies that Whitehead ripped it out. Either way, it's Melbourne ball.
All right, well, you get the feeling that the saw far longer as we see Jordan Martin about to come onto the field for his NRL debut. Look at this. This is great scenes.
It is a good day. We had Will Price a couple of hours ago in Newcastle, and now there's the crew of Jordan Martin.
That's awesome. That is, yeah, so good.
been a long time coming too. He had an ACL injury last year, pushed him back, but here he is. Melbourne Storm, though, pressing again. Welsh, he's got through some work, Christian Welsh. He's back here, Mooney, strong in defence. Liero down the middle.
He's getting better and better as a player, Trent Liero.
Hughes, Valongo. Was a little worried there that perhaps there was an obstruction situation. They had one very early in the game, Melbourne. Hughes for Wishart. Now, Anderson has never played as confidently as he's playing right now. Trying to play the ball as well. Melbourne pressing, last tackle. Hughes, the kick. Now it's Warbrick. A saloon passage. How has that come out to Katoa?
Both ways.
Canberra knock on. Canberra knock on.
Canberra first, then Melbourne scrum to the Storm.
Well, all of a sudden, since that Kyo Weeks try and the error from Elliot Whitehead in the play the ball, they haven't touched the ball for about 5 minutes or so here. It has been all Melbourne.
Oh, was that forward from Howarth to, rather, Warbrick to Katoa? Anyway, Melbourne ball 10 metres out.
10 seconds, let's go.
Melbourne here, this time 3 on each side. Hughes assessing.
Yeah, they're planning a raid to their left-hand side here, Melbourne.
Far along or just behind the scrum, and he sprints now, as you can see on your screen. Is he a decoy? Yes, he is. As Wishart tries to crack them open. Melbourne on the attack yet again. The story of the game.
Oh, had he gone out the back there, that was a real chance for Melbourne.
Katoa was the front man. 6 more tackles. That's the 6th set restart they've received. Hughes calling the shots. On it goes to Howarth. Muscles his way over. Jack Howarth, too strong. And he gets his first career try. This young man of immense talent has now become an NRL try scorer, and look at the jubilation.
Yeah, he was a towering teenage prodigy coming through, Jack Howarth, and you've mentioned the 5-year deal. The former Queensland under-19s representative, destined to play in the back row at the moment due to his athleticism, playing at centre with no Nick Meaney in the side. No Remus Smith, and it's Garlick again out of dummy half. He finds Hughes, who goes short. You can see there couple of forwards for the Raiders caught down the short side in Mooney and Mariota. And Hughes just too clever for that. Squares up Mariota, finds Mooney sliding. And Jack Howarth just gets on the outside shoulder, close to the line, and gets the ball down. Melbourne go back-to-back with their tries.
Gee, Smithy's had his hand in there, and he might have jolted that free, but Howarth holding on.
They're having a few hamstring troubles here, Jack Howarth.
Oh, jeez. That sort of twisting is not for the mortal man, that one. But Howarth there, just being treated. What a team Jack Howarth was part of in the 2019 Australian schoolboys. Some reasonable footballers like Walsh, Sam Walker, Tabu Fido. Here he comes now. And Wishart, this time no good. But Melbourne with their biggest lead of the night, 16 points to 6.
Young Jordan Martin on for his debut here. The crowd getting very excited. His family here to watch him. And there's a great mullet there channeling Ryan Pappenhausen, and they'll be very happy to see him get an opportunity. As you mentioned, Dan, he had an ACL injury that really hurt him last season, but Ricky Stewart said he went to his senior players this week in Josh Papali'i, Joe Tarpany, and said, is Jordan Martin ready for first grade? They said, yeah, he's ready. Give him a chance. And he's out there tonight. Resilience is the way Ricky Stewart described his best attribute, working back from those injuries to get out there, and let's see what he's got in first grade.
Indeed. Thank you, Jake. I'm not sure Ryan Pappenhausen would love the comparison of mullets there, but Ryan's a little bit more Whitey Goodman. But there he is, a first-grade footballer, Jordan Martin.
He's had a great start to the second half. Eli Katoa on this right edge, looking for work, powerful. And again, generates some momentum as we see Martin. Nice tackle there on Josh King.
He's going to bring some muscle, it seems, some energy. And that ball's come out. Let's come out forward. Well, there we go. Canberra get an opportunity here. Liero discussing with Hughes.
Okay, clock on.
And they're going to wear this one.
All right, well, all of a sudden they've just halted Melbourne's momentum here. Good contact from Whitehead and Mooney, and the ball just comes out the back there, not taking any chances. And Canberra now already been able to find a try through Weeks in this second half. Can they find another?
Let's go. Down. Head in, quick. Head in. Hold.
And that's the coach that's in front. God love this game. All right, Kyo Weeks. God love this game. Adam Cook, who did a very nice job in the first half. Oof. Hudson Young wearing that one. Now, oh, look at the energy now from Melbourne. Josh King laying into Trey Mooney. And here's Jordan Muck almost to the 10. Starling. Mooney. Canberra.
Spicing up a bit here, Dan.
Yes. This is as sustained attack as Canberra have had all night. Weeks. Long ball. Hopewadi almost slipping by Will Warbrick. And they hang on the Storm. Changeover.
He's chasing the game, isn't he, Kyo Weeks? Just stepping up on the last there, as we see. Hopewadi just savagely coming into the legs. Great effort there out of marker. Warbrick charges into them.
Rolling his sleeves up there and then reaching up to his face. Well, this has gone up again, this game.
Melbourne got stuck into Canberra the last set, and all of a sudden the Raiders, showing a bit of character here and flying off the line, getting stuck into the Storm players.
Biggest deficit they faced all night. Hughes. What's happened again? So yes, out of sorts at times tonight, Melbourne's attack. You can't tell whether they're just standing like a buoy in an ocean. Now, Wishart, in the end, does reasonably well. But Weeks, he's already broken them open once. This time just happy to provide for Rapin. So if you just tuned in, you've been out on this Saturday night, an extraordinary run from Kyo Weeks, giving Canberra their one and only try.
Haven't seen much of Timbercroft, have we, tonight? Picked up that shoulder injury again in the first half, but
he punches out 150 metres a game. He's just over 50 so far. Statistically proving your point there, Mick, as Canberra goes in on halfway. It's a very strong run, coupled with the offload for Matiotta. Mooney bringing him up to the 40. High kick that no one seems interested in. So Whitehead tries to come up with it. In the end, Grant Anderson makes the right decision. Letting Whitehead try and catch it. Melbourne ball. So 23 minutes to go. Oh, heavy work there. Cut in half. Xavier Coates. But look at him getting up smiling. He's not going to show them that stung. Martin is in Disneyland. Middle outside, inside. Great read from Starling. Martin back in the line. I'm sure he's quite with us at the moment.
just gets his head in the wrong spot, I think, here, Jordan Martin, or he just gets the hip, in fact, of
So he's about to be ordered off, and that was inevitable, but Canberra have got it back here.
The independent doctor's asked you to leave, mate. Thanks. That's zero. Addo, your ball.
That's a real shame. That's a real shame.
It's all right. Yeah.
So there's some concern there, but cheering him on. The Martin clan.
Yeah, came in hard, didn't he? And Welsh just rolled that hip into the collision. Unfortunately for Martin, he certainly got stung in that one.
That's zero.
was actually, Mick, I don't want this to at all come off sarcastic, he was actually impressive, wasn't he, the few minutes we saw him on? He looked good.
Tarpany back into the action now at a critical time and an important time now for Canberra.
Kyle Weeks up in the line.
Stepping up Kyle Weeks, I like this. Looking to get himself into the game.
Comes across here, Cook. Saw a lot of it in the first half. Strange, Timoko, Savage, gone. Gone, but hang on, we're going back here. Penalty Canberra. Penalty to the Raiders. So
Penalty here.
Coates was never in any danger there in terms of making the tackle.
Yeah, it's not the night. It's not the night to be trying to go on the outside of... Yeah, it's Wishart. Going to go and report it.
Wishart on report. You would not imagine anything more than that.
No. And Xavier Coates tremendously positioned to put Xavier Savage, regardless of his speed, over the sideline. Craig.
Interesting to see Ethan Strange there. Haven't seen much of him, have we? They just haven't had the ball at the right part of the field. You know how deadly he can be at close range. Loves running. 6 more. Tarpany on to Mooney. Productive tonight, Trey Mooney. Tarpany straight into King, holding on. Tarpany looking for the quick play of the ball. King laying all over. The tunnels through his legs. Melbourne sliding. Strange. Ooh, almost getting through. Getting to within a couple of metres. Raiders looking for their second try. Deep pass for Cook. And a Settley here on tackle for Mariota.
Still going. Oh.
You can offload this young man, not this time. Gee, troubling him out of Mariota. Now it's Tarpany. On to Cook. Flat ball, Young. Great leaks tackle there, Jerome Hughes, with a bit of advice on the way past. Final play, big play this. Here's the left foot kick from Cook. It's heavy, it's hot, and it's over the back.
Well, Melbourne Storm doing a great job there. Terrific tackle, Jerome Hughes on Hudson Young. And Adam Cook just unable to get the length of that kick right. 7 tackles now. Ricky Stewart getting closer towards the edge of that seat as Xavier Coates now through the middle, hit heavy.
Well, there's no doubt the Raiders will have pleased Ricky Stewart in the way they've gone about this as compared to the last couple of weeks. But there's work to be done here. Jake Duke, down to you.
Unfortunately for Jordan Martin, his debut ends on a sour note, deemed a Category 1 HIA, so he won't return. Injury concern for the Melbourne Storm as well. We saw Jack Howarth getting some treatment from the trainer after he scored that try. He has been taken off. He is in the sheds being assessed by the Storm doctor.
Okay, thank you, Jake. Effectively 16 on 16. Anderson.
Kane Bradley out there into that right centre position for Melbourne.
Rain again, back. Hasn't really gone away, but it's got a bit heavier. This no kick is easy tonight. Up they go. Somehow Kane Bradley comes up with it. Farlongo on the last. Hughes rolling it. In the end goal. Rapida leaves it behind, and it's going to be a try. So Will Warbrick, he might be hurt. He might be in a bit of trouble, and he finds a way to fashion his way to the line and ground the ball.
Anytime in those conditions that you can get the ball skidding along the ground, it is always difficult to pick up. Hughes goes across, looking for Warbrick, who himself's been good in the air, lands it a little short for Katoa and Bradley, who comes down with the ball, and then you can see Hughes loop to the short side, and there it is, just that little dinking grubber wobbling around, too hard to pick up at full speed for Rapana. And Warbrick just coming in from behind. And he gets the ball down just before Rapana can get his right hand to the ball, and that'll be a try.
This is the difference, isn't it? The way Canberra, and they're tough conditions, but
yep.
they've just had too many errors off these sorts of kicks.
Yeah, well, you look at Adam Cook down the other end, just too heavy with the kick, 7 tackles, and then Jerome Hughes, well, he gets it right, and he's just getting it right all the time. Hold on.
Time off.
Hang on. So Kane Bradley's who we're looking at here, the 21. The Melbourne 21 who just entered the game.
The all aspects of play leading up to this, just looking at the hand of Kane Bradley, The ball comes off the left hand of Kane Bradley and goes forward into Jordan Rapinoe. This is a knock-on.
Well, that's
we have a decision.
That's an escape the Raiders would not have been expecting.
Yeah.
So 16-6.
And one they needed desperately.
Well, you get the sense
That was the blow, wasn't
they
it?
couldn't recover from 20-6 or 22-6. So Kane Bradley, unfortunate there, not much he did wrong. 6th NRL game. Not sure Greg Bellamy feels the same.
Where are we, Ash?
Sometimes he looks more content when things don't go their way. It's often he's storming out the back of the box when they've just scored a try, or nearly ripping the microphone off the assistant when things have gone their way. Anyway, he's great to watch, Craig, on Saturday night.
Well, I'm not sure we're done with the theatrics, Mick, especially if Canberra score the next strike. Oh, it's a sloppy play, the ball. But they've been their own worst enemy, the Raiders, as much as they've tried. Totally unforced errors have just handed Melbourne chance after chance.
Well, that's their 11th error of the night, and again, unforced. Just unable to get to play the ball right, and it's a real shame because he's been tremendous off the bench. And Starling about to come back in the game, but Ante Mariota has put his side under pressure here. Scrum for Melbourne, 20 metres out, and an opportunity to extend this lead.
So far, Longo, all eyes on him. Here he comes, scooting across. The decoy is Bradley. Played for the Cowboys and was part of West's Tigers. And penalty. Now
Gave him the facial. It's foul play.
This is
Foul
kickable.
play. No. It's foul play. It's not. He gave him a big facial, mate. Can't go quick on foul play, Munson. Sorry, mate, just had 2 points.
Now, what do they do here, Melbourne? What do you do?
They'd be taking the 2 for sure.
And this will give
Night like tonight, where points have just been so hard to earn, and just to the side of the post.
They've been working the ruck over pretty well, Canberra. You get the sense Grant Atkins has had enough. So,
hand on the face there from Joseph Tarpany, and not a lot in it. You can't believe it, the big front rower. But as you said, he's saying that Bradley was pushing up under the chin there of Tarpany, and Grant Atkins seeing the hand on the face from Tarpany, and as you said, having none of it, and a chance for Wishart to extend it to 12-point lead.
For the lip readers out there, we apologise for the profanities. Interesting old night. Tension's high, and he's missed it, Wishart. No good. Now, what do Canberra do here? We haven't had a dropout all night. Do they go short, or do they pump it along from the 20? That's the question. So it's still there for Canberra. That kick would have put them out of business, but you've just got to feel for the people around Craig Bellamy. They've heard it all before, but it wouldn't make it any easier. Weeks, that rugby style bouncing of the ball is always the giveaway that they're going to go short, although it's a bit deeper than perhaps he was hoping, and it's a great catch, Eli Katoa.
Feeling that Suafar Long has about to put his stamp on this game.
He's hanging around, isn't he? He's lurking, loitering. King has a try. That's a good sign. Jack Howard comes to Hughes. He saw the trouble coming. It was Jordan Rapinoe bearing down like a freight train. And that's a knock on.
Yeah, great experience. Moved from the fullback position out onto the wing and read it beautifully. The experience of Jordan Rapinoe, knowing the threat of Fa'aloga out on the edge and just rocking in with the right shoulder has absolutely leveled the pocket dynamo. And doesn't he love it, Jordan? He's a beauty. He has been in everything this year for Canberra.
Not this time, young man.
There is some feeling in this game, isn't there?
Boys, we just saw Jack Howarth warming up on the sideline. It's a glute and hip issue for him. He has been cleared to return if needed for the Storm, but whether they use him for the rest of this game remains to be seen.
Thank you, Jake. There's Whitehead getting some treatment in the tackle. Big Nelson doesn't walk the sideline, he prowls the sideline. Adam Cook and Melbourne backpedaling. Bad defensive decision. Gives Rapiner a little chance. Puts in a kick. Here comes Cook. Jerome Hughes saves them. Hughes is back there. Now he's bent back into the in goal. And what is Grant Atkins going to do with this?
I believe he's injured. I've called held. Tackle 1.
So, okay, play the ball once Hughes is able to do so.
Yeah, he kicked the head Rapiner and then he came in hard. Hughes, look at this. Does a great job to recover. The speed of Weeks has troubled them in the second half. Rapiner kicking over the top there of Farlongo. Hughes does great to get there. Watch the work here of Rapiner, just comes in and sandwiches him.
Well, crowds looked at that and thinks there's a high tackle involved, but doesn't appear to be. Melbourne here. Now Canberra are going to load up. You just know they're going to launch. Can they force an error out of Melbourne? That's tough going for Nelson.
Well, the triple change for Ricky Stewart. So not only has he rolled Tarpany on, but he's also got Papali'i and Danny Levi out there now.
20 metres out on tackle 4, Melbourne from their own line. Done it pretty reasonably, though. Launching there.
He's not well.
So Mariota has come off second best. Already lost Jordan Martin. Hughes giving it everything he's got. Weeks. He couldn't do it again, could he? Well, he gets around one, gets around another. Oh, just working down low was Coates.
Speed and balance there is absolutely phenomenal. Yes, the tackle from Mariota came in like a freight train.
Okay,
and that's why players paused here. Now, they'll want a decision quickly here, Canberra. Simi Sasungi is the 18th man. He can be activated if this is immediately ruled out.
Just dropped his head here, Mariota, as he came in to launch, and you can see the sweat come off the head there with the contact. Weeks looks the threat as Mariota comes from the field.
Here come the Raiders. They've hardly had it on the attack. It's Starling. So let's see what the Raiders can conjure. Or rather, Danny Levi in 14. We're so used to seeing Starling in 14. Levi nice and fresh. Props combined. Tarpany to Papali'i. Levi. Smithers. Strange with his first real chance. Wishart holding on, 2 tackles left. Levi goes open side. Smithies on to Cook. That's a better kick. And Fa'alongo doesn't panic, despite Young bearing down. And it's a dropout.
Yeah, they've had some joy with these plays during the season. That little kick, once they've brought the line forward, Cook dabbing it in there. Young just always there, chasing through on those short grubbers, but Fa'alongo well positioned. And the Raiders maintaining possession, or at least building pressure with a set restart.
And they're going to go short here. They're going to give... oh, they've got the result. They've got the result, and how?
Well, I'll tell you how. It's the work from Tyrone Wishart when everyone else in the game just stood and watched and hesitated. The pressure that he put on Xavier Savage there. It was just brilliant work from Tyrone Wishart, and shows you exactly why he's in the Melbourne Storm side. Hughes out of dummy half.
Hughes is away. Cook in pursuit. Fullback the only man in front. Now they converge. He's still going, Jerome. Now they can drop the hammer here, the Melbourne Storm. Garlick just gets in there in time at dummy half. Fa'alongo. This time he takes a tumble. Canberra was supposed to be on the attack at the other end. That's for Solomon. 3, 4 defenders there. His 13th run, Big Nelson. Garlick. Almost out of a rugby ruck and maul the way Garlick had to pick that ball up out of traffic. There he is now, this time lock cleaner. Wishart, far long on. Not the greatest pass, so he'll just go to ground. Final play coming here with Anderson. Turning it in. Wishart. Katoa. He leaves it for Bradley. And if it wasn't knocked forward by Bradley, it got the fingertips of Katoa. And Canberra stay alive somehow.
Front foot on the line.
10 down. 9 minutes 45 to go. And yeah, certainly knocked forward there. And made a bird of it. And what have Canberra got here? Question we've been asking most of the night. Timothy. Melbourne here can put a little distance between themselves and certainly Cronulla and maybe even Penrith. Penrith have an interesting one tomorrow against the Cowboys. Both sides have rested most of their guns. Here's Elliot Whitehead. Strange goes long. Tap. Tyles. Welsh. Has to exit that tackle. And again, pretty straightforward stuff for the Storm here. Far long or hobbling. Set there absorbed by Melbourne. It's going to be a strange way for Melbourne to win in 2024. They've been usually winning shootouts.
Yeah, it's the one area where Craig Bellamy will be pleased tonight. Just 6 points at the moment over the last couple of weeks. There hasn't been a week where they've conceded under 24 points in their last 3, albeit still winning. So 6 points will please the coach.
Yeah, far long or I don't know. You know what, Mick? You might want to take that back. Now here's Wishart breaking the moped. In and away from Whitehead. Now the kick. Here comes Coates. He got it. Xavier Coates got it down. An exclamation mark from the Melbourne Storm. Xavier Coates coming through. Might have hurt himself on the way. And he gets himself a try tonight. And surely that's going to be enough for the Melbourne Storm to finally see off the Brave Raiders.
Yeah, he's just mentioned the words Hemi to his teammates by the looks of things. Here's the run from Wishart. The two halves have been terrific again tonight. And launching his body into the in goal. It's Xavier Coates.
Let's make sure he gets it. Oh, hang on.
Short of the
line. Hang on.
But concerns here for the Melbourne Storm and also for Queensland. I don't think he's...
You can't give that.
No, you can't give that. Maybe the Raiders just about to dodge another bullet in this second half with 7 minutes to go.
Jeez, now this is going to have some implications.
He looked straight to Jerome Hughes and said hammy. And
another hamstring injury in 2024. And again in the rain.
Yeah.
So this should be a pretty straightforward situation. The points will come off the board, but well, this is nasty for Melbourne. It's nasty for the Maroons.
Xavier Coates goes forward in the field of play, just playing on at this stage to see where the ball ends up.
His issues in the past have been in the syndesmosis and shoulder areas, really. But that's a pretty dejected and forlorn Melbourne winger.
We have a decision.
This does not look good at all.
No, he looked in real concern and instantly went with the reaction to his teammates of Hammy, and now leaving the field.
It's a knock-on, it's no try. But it actually happens in field of play, so going for a scrum over here.
Now, when I say he hasn't had hammy injuries in the past, he did have one earlier this year. It's not a historic thing for Xavier Coates, but it only kept him out a couple of weeks. But now it's 2 in 1 year.
Yeah. Well, all of a sudden, Selwyn Cobbo comes right back into those calculations after being left out of game 2.
So scrum here, because the error happened before it got to the try line.
You get the feeling it's the footwork and power of Joseph Tarpany through the middle And the work and speed of Kyo Weeks, if the Raiders are a chance, well, you get the feeling it's around those two. Tarpany organising here through the middle of the field.
Done a great job on him, haven't they, Melbourne? Just giving him no room to move, and now he's wincing. He seems to be okay.
Right, where's Weeks? Weeks has parked himself out on this long shift, loitering onto the left-hand side.
Smithy's the deep. There he goes now. Young.
He's worked hard defensively. Christian Welsh, he's been a rock for them through the middle.
Get something out of this. Cook hurries a bomb. Now, this is a little trickier than some of the more recent ones, but a lovely catch by Warbrick. Oh, what a chase from Papali'i. Canberra need to get this back. Melbourne here, rolling their sleeves up. That's a very upset young Xavier Coates. Nelson's put it down. Well, here we go. The Raiders. It just starts to open up for them.
Yeah, there he is. Craig Bellamy. He's walking away in absolute disgust as Asfa Solomona. Well, before he even got to the collision, the ball just slipping out of his grasp. And the Raiders now with 6 minutes to go. He can't believe what he's seeing from his side, who just continue to give chances, and the Raiders hanging on here.
Do we see? Oh, jeez, this just seems to get worse and worse. And
that's a real shame, isn't it?
We're talking about origin implications. That's another injury for Melbourne.
Yeah.
So they've been snake bit all year, yet they're top of the table. Oh my goodness! Nelson just rips it back.
Well, Ricky might follow Craig. He might be out. He might be gone on the back of that. Timoko just absolutely no awareness. And Nelson, look at this, just reaches around and just nonchalantly just rips the ball straight off him and makes up for his error. What a big play there from Nelson Asfa Solomona.
6th steal of his career. That's got to be one of the great feelings, doesn't it? Your error puts you under pressure, and then immediately you repay the team. Head of steam, Nelson Asfa Solomona. 16 runs. Most this year by miles. 11 was his previous high. Here comes the cavalry. Oh, Katoa got a piece of that, but didn't control it. Well, they need something quite miraculous now, the Raiders.
Yeah, one of the Raiders in trouble here, Jordan Rapana, yeah. Well, already have lost Mariota and
Martin.
Martin. And you can see here, well, he might have just copped a stray elbow there of Eli Katoa coming through. Oh, yeah. Eli Katoa.
Problem?
Yeah, oh, no, accidental,
okay.
But definitely direct to the head, unfortunately for Rapana.
Continue here, Melbourne. Rabid. They'll try and pin Canberra. Keep them down this end, which is something they've done very well all night. So Jordan Rapana now the 3rd player to exit for Canberra because of concussion.
Well, this will see Simi Sasangi come into the game, you'd imagine.
Well, I guess we're waiting for Mariota to be confirmed out. That would wipe out as Trey Mooney comes back. So
still
they're down to 15.
Aren't we?
They're down to 15. And Trey Mooney comes back in for the closing moments. Matt Timoko. Oh, Nelson, he's everywhere, Nelson. Where's he find the energy?
You take out that error that he had a couple of moments ago coming off his line. It's been a pretty good night, hasn't it? Probably one of his better ones this year.
What a defensive set this has been. They didn't crack their own 30. Now it's getting loose. Desperate kick. And that's not going to trouble the Melbourne Storm. You can just tuck it under the arm for the next 4 minutes. On the verge of a 4th straight win. 12 wins for the year. Jack Howarth. With Jerome Hughes in the team, they win this, they'll be 11-1. What a year he's having.
Oh, my word. He's been brilliant, hasn't he?
Great concern there for Xavier and Coates, and we'll have the assessment. Seems pretty forlorn, but we'll have that right after this game once we hear from the coaches, Craig Bellamy, Ricky Stewart, in the post-game here. Jake Duke will be all over that one. Hopefully with some positive news. We don't want to see our stars not available in our game. Here's Tyron Wishart. Canberra, as brave as they've been, facing a third straight defeat here. As Hughes puts it up. And up goes Jerome Hughes, tapping it back. Now it comes across. Big Nelson winding up. He'll want it all himself. And this time he doesn't get the offload right.
Well, he had Howarth unmarked on the outside. Temper's just flaring here between Garlick and Savage.
Well, that's going to be a bonus penalty to Canberra. So that's a bit of ill discipline there from Garlick. They've been baited into that, but Canberra can now pump it long.
Yeah, had to find a pass there to Howarth. Decided to take them on and try and get the one-arm offload on the inside, but the slippery conditions didn't allow that, and then things got heated. He was lashing out, Savage. And 2 minutes to go here. Melbourne holding on.
Surely they will be fully aware that Kyle Weeks is the man they have to stop here in this scenario. Totally dominant stats, and that's been the way all night. And it comes across to Strange. Time for Ethan Strange. Nice. Oh, the pass comes out to Timokor. Hits him on the chest. Another unforced Raiders error. The story of the night.
Yeah, their 15th error of the night. And I said early in the opening half, when they made a couple of errors, that when you come here to Amy Park, you just cannot beat yourself. You need to have a high completion rate, and you really need to play your best footy. And they haven't done that tonight, Canberra. Haven't given themselves a chance with the amount of errors that they've had, and particularly errors inside their own half. And you can see 47 tackles to the Melbourne Storm. Down on the Raiders' try line is an astronomical amount of possession down on the Raiders' line. It's Wishart here.
What have we got here? Oh, another player with a big cut.
Back, stay with your touches, please.
This is like old school professional wrestling when they pulled out the razors. So many players with wounds. All right, 80 seconds to go. There'll be some leaning forward on their chairs right now.
Against the feed.
It's a knock on. And Canberra here, this is wise, looking to pack this scrum quickly.
Time off.
And what do we got here? We've got a challenge.
Ash, you got a captain's challenge from Melbourne. Live ruling a knock on by Grant Anderson at halfback when the ball comes back out.
Well, here we go. A captain's challenge on a scrum. A captain's challenge on a scrum. Old-fashioned strike there.
The ball is fed to the scrum and then it comes out the same tunnel. The challenge is successful. It'll be a refeed.
And Whitehead there got his hand to it anyway.
This happens. Okay, so it's a refeed to Melbourne. Still got your challenge. Let's go.
Well, the storyline out of tonight, Xavier Coates has picked up what looked to be a pretty significant hamstring injury, the way that he was heading down the tunnel, and he was in real discomfort, and the ramifications not only for the Melbourne Storm, but also how significant a role he plays for the Queensland side, with the decider only weeks away.
Well, it's 17 days away, so just based on the walking up the tunnel, we'd be suggesting long odds, but we'll have a more thorough assessment shortly here. Melbourne looking to wind this one up. Another win coming for them. They really are a mighty club, the Storm. The 12-3, top of the table. It seems they've been camped there for years with the likes of Penrith, but Melbourne always there. And they're heading for top 2 for a 7th time in the last 9 years. Hughes happy to just turn it over right near the try line. Well, the Canberra Raiders have been brave. They've shown ticker that was perhaps lacking their last couple of games, but to beat the mighty Melbourne Storm, the precision has to be there as well, and they've fallen just short, the Canberra Raiders. But the Melbourne Storm, they do it yet again. They find ways each and every time, it seems, and they win their 4th in a row, but at what cost? Full time at Amy Park. Melbourne 16, Canberra 6.